Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all having wonderful days. Let's head over into Collectively Rewilding. All right, here we are in Collectively Rewilding. And I think we might have missed as many as two of these meetings. I know it's been kind of crazy. We had so much going on in the garden and family visiting, children's birthdays, the holiday. Oh my gosh, it has been just so busy. So I apologize for missing those meetings. How have you all been doing with quitting?
I'm doing fabulous, Sabrina.
Did you want to tell everybody a little bit about what you're dealing with and why you're doing better even than you plan to be?
The drinking.
Just
Well,
whatever you want to share, right? This is your journey and you can share what you want to of it.
I've been 3 months sober from alcohol, booze. Doing good. It wasn't easy. Still not easy. Still work in progress. I'm out of that temptating stage where I can go and go inside of like a liquor store and not get triggered, or go into a grocery store and look at alcohol and my husband, he can drink or whatever, and I don't get bothered by it, so it's not that big of a deal. But I don't really have the craving for it, But like I said, I'm not like quitting. I just stopped. I'm not gonna promise myself I'm gonna do something, and I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. But as of right now, that's what I say. I stopped for right now, and I'm continuing doing that. So far so good. You know.
And aren't there some other bad habits that have gotten added onto your list that you have decided to change as well recently?
Oh, just like obviously I saw a nutritionist, and then that went all bad with my eating stuff. But
And drinking, no water.
yeah. So the water problem. Now I'm drinking a ton load of electrolyte water and water every day, like
Right.
and fruits and stuff, and putting it in my water. Not drinking soda. I do have like Gatorade at my house. I haven't touched any of it, so yeah, just sticking to a lot of water, and that's giving me a lot of energy for sure. Yeah, and just trying to implement more of organic things in my diet, and just overall changing what I'm eating, and hopefully everything goes well. Take it a day by day. Kind
Well,
of
we
thing.
definitely wish you success with that. And there are a lot of folks that have quit without saying they're quitting. For a lot of people, that really does help them. They aren't putting a finite end on it. They're just quitting for right now and they don't know exactly where they're going to go. And a lot of times those folks end up just staying sober, but it was never this, I don't know how to exactly say it, over dominating decision. It was simply what they decided for right now. And then it just kind of continued for them.
Yeah, pretty much. Like once I got over that month, I felt like, okay, so if I could do a month, I haven't been sober for like a long time, Sabrina. So I've been drinking for a long time. So this is the actual like one time in my whole life where I've been like sober from alcohol, period, for 3 months. So yeah, long, long time since I've ever stopped drinking.
Well, that's
A
wonderful, Tammy.
long time.
Congratulations on all of the work that you're doing.
Yeah, it's hard, but today would be like the second year my dad passed away. So today's that day. So it's pretty
Is
cool.
this today?
Yeah, the second.
Well, we are here for you in your loss. And I know
Yeah.
that it maybe heals, but we will always miss our loved ones.
Yeah. So yeah, today's that day, and I'm pretty proud of myself for not drinking. So yeah.
Yay, Tammy! All right. Anyone else want to share where they're at with their journey? Uh-oh, we're hearing crickets, Tammy.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
with me, like I've still I'm a work in progress with the smoking of the cigarettes. I know with the weed, I've been kind of slowing down a little bit on that.
oh, really? See,
Mm,
for myself, I don't count that in my list of bad habits. I call that medicine.
yeah,
And so I don't worry about it. But we do each have our own journeys. And if it's something that costs you too much or spends too much time or you're finding it a drag on your health or something along those lines, it's absolutely something to support quitting as well.
yeah. I think for me, just having more of the control over it.
I have been working on that all of my life, right? I'm actually pretty good. I started smoking when I was 16 in San Francisco. You can look it up, but it's called Hate Ashbury.
Really?
And
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. And I used to get high, but it's been so long since I really could get high that it's pretty easy for me. I just kind of take a little toke every hour and one an hour. That's almost all I ever do. And
Yeah.
so, because I
Thing is,
can't, I just be smoking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to try to chase that high,
yeah.
right?
And I got some people in my family that are like that. That it's just like for them, it's like smoking cigarettes. For me, it's just I just want to have that low tolerance because the more you smoke of it, the tolerance.
Yes, my tolerance is like over skyscrapers level.
Yeah, yeah,
hmm
hmm yeah. So that's pretty much been my journey.
And so you're quitting cigarettes, vaping, and weed, kind of a little bit of a combo. Is that right?
A bit of a combo. The vaping, I don't do as much. Mostly just like at night to try to help me go to sleep. Uh,
hmm
yeah. So with the cigarettes, has just been more than anything else. So that's why I've been trying to work on just slow down on that.
Yeah,
He
it's
smokes
hard,
menthols. He smokes menthols, so that's even
and those
harder.
are like the worst for you, other than non-filtered, right?
Not crazy because here in Massachusetts they banned the menthols, but in Rhode Island they did it, and we live close to Rhode Island, so that's why I get the bag of tobacco there. And it's weird because with the filters, they they used to have them in Rhode Island, but when all that stuff started happening, they started catching on people like utilizing it and try to sell and make money off of it. So they stopped with the filters, but you can still get the filters here in Massachusetts. Yeah,
Very strange, right?
yeah,
The things they think will fix problems.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't say too much, but we live pretty close to Nevada ourselves. So,
Mm,
I understand those kinds of trips, right?
yeah.
So we're lucky we do have medicinal here in Utah, but they don't let you grow, even if you have your medical license, and the prices are outrageous. So,
Yeah, definitely, especially with the prices is going to the dispensary, depending on which dispensary you go to as well. Just, like it could be pretty pricey with all the taxes and everything too.
yeah, yeah, there's a big difference between the various states that have legalized for medicinal and or recreational, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Anyone else want to share where they're at with their journey? Miss Vanessa or Candace? Or shall we let you ladies be and stop picking on you? I'm going to take that as a stop picking on you kind of a moment. All right, guys. So this class is, oh, please go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm doing about the same.
Are you?
So I think the
You're
report.
kind of in a stressful place right now, though, aren't you, Vanessa, with your husband's illness and deciding what state you're going to live in and everything? I would think that was probably a pretty stressful life moment.
A little bit, yeah, because I really don't want to move here, and I don't want to sell the houses in Texas, mine or his, but
Wow.
he wants to sell both of them and get a house here. So I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, he has trouble breathing all the time coming in, and I'm just getting worried now because it's getting colder, and he works outside. So
And he has cancer?
yeah, it's in remission though. Yeah.
And how is he doing with his smoking? Is he slowing down at all for you?
No.
Um,
No.
if we ever held like a later night session, right? He's out working. Would he want to attend a meeting?
I'm not sure.
Well, we would sure love to make him welcome and provide an opportunity for that if he would like some support as well.
Yeah, that would be good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let him know and then let us know, please, because my husband got that possible scary word, right? Not the not official, not yes, you have it, but there are some signs here that are some worries and you could. So we got the scary word, but he's not able to join at this time either, right? So we can easily put a meeting up. We can just change the time for this meeting if we need to. Whatever we need to do, put a new one, put one on the weekend. We'll both let our men know that they're welcome to. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Very good. Very good. All right, Miss Candace, did you want to say something or shall we move on? She's like, quit putting me in the spotlight. Okay, we will. So this class is actually intended to be a little bit more of a podcast style class where we're just kind of talking back and forth, sharing our stories, sharing our moments, our successes, these kinds of things, right? And one of the big pieces that is really helping me, I have gotten further than I've ever gotten before, are these puffy airs. But when I'm going through this process and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do a puffy air right now. I've got to have a cigarette. I think about why. What is the stall point? What is the moment that stops me from making a better decision? And when you get these 4-packs that have all 4, the lung cleanse, sleep support, liver support, and energy boost, they only come with 2 of the little mouthpieces, right? When you get a singular pack, it comes with its own mouthpiece. And so when we first got these packs, we just got the singular, and my husband carved into it just a little bit so that we didn't have to take that filter off and on. We could just leave it on in the package. And it was a lot easier for me when all I had to do was just get it, pull it out, and go. And so when I'm having to get into my puffy airs, right, and you have those 2 filters, so now I have to stop for a moment. And I have to take out my puffy air, and my next puffy air that I'll be smoking is going to be the milk thistle or liver support. And just as a FYI, I don't drink alcohol almost ever. And I haven't for about 4 years now because it burned a small hole in my stomach the last time I drank. I don't eat a lot of food, and I am pretty thin, so there's no extras in my stomach. And when I drank, it just hit that empty belly, and my belly's so consistently empty where it weakens itself a little bit from the bile of my acids in my stomach, right? I'm anorexic. It's something I work on all the time. I really don't worry about my weight anymore, but I use busyness to avoid eating. I try really hard not to, and then my life is just really that busy to where it's not even a choice sometimes. For instance, today is one of my busiest days, having to help Matthew Lesko over in Lesko Help 2, then immediately having a class here, and then another class over in Lesko Help 2. With anything else that has to happen before, I ran to the grocery store, ran home, threw my makeup on, went into class with Matthew. Now we're here in class. I managed to slam down a couple of pieces of toast and a cup of tea, right? But really, so many of us are that busy that eating can be a real challenge, right? And so the alcohol hit my stomach, and with the weakened stomach environment that I have, it burned a small hole. So that's not one of the things that I have to worry about. However, and I totally lost my train of thought while I was talking about the alcohol portion of it. I apologize. But this is, oh, that's right. Okay, so this is a liver support. So I don't need liver support as far as alcohol. However, I have drank a ton of sodas over the last 24 years or so. I started working at Sonic when I was about 24, and in my opinion, they have the best soda in the country. And that's when I got addicted to Dr. Pepper. And I started drinking what they call a Route 44 or more every day. My worst was when I got up to as many as 4 or 5 52-ounce sodas a day. All right. And so that was my biggest active addiction. I did the most negative things to my body through soda. So I've already quit drinking Dr. Pepper, and I'm only drinking orange sodas now. And where I used to have a minimum of 64 ounces of Dr. Pepper a day, now I'm only having 2 orange sodas on most days, right? However, because I drank so much sugar, it did damage my liver. So liver support is good for those who overindulge in sugar as well. I don't care if you're talking cakes, cookie, candy, soda. Maybe you just like sugar and you're just like, sugar, right? It doesn't matter. your body doesn't process that as a normal fat. It processes it through the liver. And that's where you get fatty liver disease, I believe is how it's termed, right? Okay, it doesn't just happen with alcohol and cirrhosis of the liver. Fatty liver can happen through any kind of excessive sugar consumption as well. And so, yes, this little milk thistle and dandelion liver support puffy air essential oil diffuser is good for those who overindulge in alcohol and or sugars. Okay, and so this will be the next one that I'm ready to smoke off of. But when I go to get my cigarette, I just flip that lid, pull that cigarette out, and light it, right? Instead, now I'm having to open up my box. I have to take off the little cappy, put that back in, make sure it doesn't get lost. Then I have to grab my filter and put my filter on. And so it's really easy to be like, oh my God, I just want a cigarette. I just want to pull it out. I feel it. It's more of a like a body feeling than a conscious thought. I don't want to put this together. I want to just pull something out and smoke it, right? So I had thought we would carve into these, but they gather hair. They're kind of a pain in the butt, the way they pop on and off, and just kind of all of that. So I decided to get a case for them. And this was the best one that I could find. I got it at 5 and below. And I can put other things in here as well, which is nice. I don't ever mind having extra pockets. But there's just a little flap right here where I can put all 4 of those puffy airs with their filters, take off all those little cappies, grab some of the older filters that I still have. I kept them for that reason. And yes, if you're going to do something like this, folks, you want to clean those filters out at least every time you're restarting your puffy airs, right? And then what I'll do is I continue to buy packages. I'll rotate them out. I won't keep them. I'll keep the next new pair and add that to these 2 and then move on in that fashion. But so now I can take all those little cappies off, keep the filters on them all the time. And I have a very, very strong feeling that this is going to increase my choices of using the puffy airs instead of just going to that cigarette. So that's something that I would encourage you all to pay attention to while you're going through these processes, and see how it's just all kind of nice and it's pretty, right? I love color. I'm a total addict of color. I could not be a black, white, and gray New York City girl. I love color in all of its glory. And so when I'm thinking about that nasty cigarette, right? Like the box is kind of ugly colors. You know what the cigarette is. That's nasty energy and thought. It doesn't look nice because we know what that cigarette means. And then as a nice contrast, I have my puffy airs in my pretty little case that are all in rainbow order there. Gotta keep the colors in order or it drives me nuts. And so I have this beautiful, easy, just as simple as flipping that lid and popping out that cigarette. Now I unzip my pouch and pop out that puffy air. And I think this is going to be another game changer for me, helping me to stay strong in that moment instead of just being like, I just want a cigarette, right? No, this is just as easy. And I really think that more and more it'll help me to move away from the tobacco into the essential oils, which I'm not certain. I have to just be completely real with you guys always. And the only negative research that I have found in connection with using essential oils very heavily is if you use the same oil or oils on the same spot or spots all the time, constantly, multiple times in a day, every day at least, as a regular occurrence, you can get tiny benign tumors under the skin in that area, right? So overindulgence of any kind can have negative consequences. So be aware that there could be possibly consequences from inhaling on these essential oil diffusers. But in my mind, I cannot possibly believe that if there is any smaller consequence from utilizing essential oil diffusers, that it is so much less than the consequence of the tobacco and especially the added carcinogens that the tobacco companies deliberately put into these cigarettes. That's the thing that upsets me, I think, the most about this whole topic in our country, as long as right alongside the FDA, right? So somewhere around the 50s, we found out that the preservative chemicals that the tobacco companies were adding to these cigarettes were not only carcinogenic, they were addiction-forming chemicals. That is over, oh my gosh, almost, that's 75 years ago, or right around, depending on the exact timing all this information came out. And it's my understanding that the cigarette companies knew quite a bit before it came out publicly, okay? So the thing is, this is not the tobacco that is a carcinogen, and it is not the tobacco that has this highly addictive quality. I'm not saying that it doesn't have any negative connotations, that it doesn't have any addictive quality on its own. What I'm saying is that the majority, if not the entirety, of the addictive portion of these cigarettes is deliberately added by the tobacco companies. If there were no other types of preservatives, that would be one thing. But they know these are carcinogen causing, they know they're addiction causing, and yet the tobacco companies are not either voluntarily or forced into choosing to start weaning off the negative chemicals and introducing the better chemicals, right? Because a cold turkey stop can cause some people to have really bad reactions in their bodies. So we wouldn't want the tobacco companies to do it in block, bam, it's gone, and now it's a new thing, because that could literally cause some people to get major illnesses, even maybe cancer because of that. But instead, if you wean it off in a protocol, as you're adding in the better chemicals that are not carcinogenic or addictive, it would change how our company utilizes and views cigarettes. It would change how many negative consequences we have as smokers. And so we think of the FDA as this magical protector. And in all reality, it is plagued by special interests. Blueberries can't tell you that they're good for your brain, but cigarettes aren't forced to remove carcinogenic and addictive chemicals from their products. So we need to be aware, and we need to look out for our own health, right? And so I don't want to encourage people to consider using something like puffy air without knowing that at this time we don't know if there are consequences or what those consequences are. But in the use of essential oils, which I've been heavily into now for almost 10 years, I have found that one negative research piece about tiny benign tumors under the skin, where maybe you have a sore shoulder and you just every day you just have to put some essential oils on that shoulder. After a certain period of time, eventually there will be tiny benign tumors growing under that patch of your skin. All right, but they're benign. And that is the only negative thing that I've found in my research. So I'm still going to say that, at least for myself, I think that these puffy airs are tremendously healthier than a cigarette. And so I want to move towards that. And hopefully this case is going to do that. All right. Now, the other thought behind that is, if you use something like these puffy airs to quit, don't think of it as a lifestyle permanent change, right? Why would you want to spend the money on these any more than you want to spend it on cigarettes once you don't have that addiction anymore? So for my family, the goal is eventually not to smoke puffy airs either, right? However, getting rid of the cigarettes, that's the main criteria. And even though I've been battling because of this way of storing these puffy airs, I'm still doing better than I have ever done in moving towards quitting, as is my husband. So definitely find those ways for you that help you on the journey you want to find and complete, right? All right, guys, let's jump into our calendar, and we will get together again tomorrow for How To's community outreach. Last week was a holiday week and everybody was busy. So I kind of just sat in here by myself and made up a list of things that I want to work on when I go into the city planning meeting on Wednesday, December 10th, right? And so we'll probably go over that a little bit unless one of you brings one of your goals and we can work on that. But one way or the other, we will work on some community outreach tomorrow. And that is going to be tomorrow, December 3rd at 1:45 p.m. Pacific, 2:45 p.m. Mountain, 3:45 p.m. Central, and 4:45 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you all there. And please feel free to unmute everyone and say goodbye. It's not good night yet, right?
Adios.
We said it too quickly. Benny caught good night out there already. Bye, guys.
Sabrina.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Can I ask you something? That 1-800-QUIT, is that good for every state?
Yes, it is. 1-800-QUIT now. Let me just stop
My
it.
husband was saying that he wanted to get nicotine, those things.
And you know what, guys? I went and bought Nicorette gum because I'm almost out of what I got from 1-800-QUIT, and it really helps me, especially in the mornings, if I just pop that gum in so that I use my puffy air instead of a cigarette. And to get 200 pieces of great value or Walmart brand Nicorette was $45. All right. 100 pieces of Nicorette brand gum was $45. So definitely use those quit lines to get you guys started. They're pricey products. Okay. And so let's jump over here to a search really quickly. And we're going to say 1-800-QUIT now. And so here you go. Here's a whole bunch of information. They have it in multiple languages, and they just kind of break down the whole program for you here. I will tell you that they were supposed to contact me through text and or email. I gave them the option for both, and they didn't reach out until I was already supposed to have quit. So it's not much of a support network. I'm going to say that quite publicly. 1-800-QUIT now. You are not following through on the protocols that you yourselves have set up and tell us you're going to follow. So if these tobacco companies, Philip Morris, are not enforcing these protocols, somebody should probably look into that. All right. Let's go ahead and post this into member meetups for you here. Miss Vanessa, looks like that's where we already are. I accidentally clicked that as we were leaving the calendar. And so, and definitely let your husband know that if he's interested, it's not about judging him or giving him a hard time, but we sure would love to support him in making the best choices that he can make for himself.
Yeah. All right.
And definitely just let him know it's not judgment. I'm not where I'm supposed to be with my quit journey, but I'm not giving up. I'm still working on it, right? And that's the real key. Never giving up. No matter if you don't reach your initial goals, if you quit, that's when you really fail. If you don't reach your initial goals, you just keep trying, right? It's a little kid song. Don't give up. My kids, that was their era. Matthew was singing his little kid song from when he was a parent, and I couldn't help it. I had to sing it too. All right. So is that going to help you there, Miss Vanessa, just to kind of follow through on that option out there?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to get the whole smoking cessation series, just let me know and I'll throw that your way as well. All right.
Can you do that when you get off? Just tag me. Same post.
Absolutely. I'll throw it right onto that same post.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. And thank you, Benny. You guys have a great night and I will see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Bye, guys.